If you're anything like me, you know the feeling of showing up for class full of energy, but then feel exhausted after a couple of hours of energy-draining PowerPoints.
When I was a student, I'd usually wake up pretty excited about a new day and about life in general. I'd clean my face, eat my oats, brush my teeth, and let my iron horse carry me safely to Copenhagen Business School. I'd also arrive pretty excited, find a seat excited, and let the lecture begin. I think it's hard enough to pay attention for very long in the first place. It didn't get any easier when my professor's slides looked like a page from a book or a screen full of code.
So, is something fundamentally wrong with slideshows? Or is it possible to design great slides that teach students in an engaging way in a learning industry that is moving online? That's what we'll talk about today. Let's get into it.
This video is brought to you by iSpring. More on them later. Death by PowerPoint. A well-known phrase that also inspired a TED Talk of the same name. It has more than 3.5 million views today, so it seems like the fear is very real.
Death by PowerPoint describes a phenomenon caused by the poor use of presentation software. The fatal causes of death by PowerPoint include confusing graphics, slides with too much text, and presenters whose idea of a good presentation is to read 40 slides out loud.
David Phillips is the author of How to Avoid Death by PowerPoint. In his TED Talk, he gives us 5 tips on how to make our presentations better. 1 message per slide. Steer focus with contrast and size. Don't write sentences when speaking on top. Strive for dark backgrounds. And maximum 6 objects per slide.
But what happens when teaching moves online? We all know what event accelerated this movement.
This TED Talk is from 2014, but since then we've seen a massive transition to online learning. So, what do you do as a teacher? Do you send your slides to students? Or do we present exactly like before, but now from home on Zoom?
Of course, we don't do that. No, we know everything about micro-lessons, storytelling, mixed formats, and how important it is to make your teaching interactive. Slides alone are just not good enough.
So what about all the presentations we've already made? There's a lot of good stuff in there. Do we throw all that work in the garbage? No. We want to find ways to reuse all that work we've already put into our hopefully great PowerPoint presentations. How to do that?
One way to convert all your PowerPoints into interactive courses is with iSpring.
iSpring is an extension to PowerPoint that allows you to create courses from scratch or from slides you already have within PowerPoint. Now, I'm not a PC user and I don't normally use PowerPoint, but I found it quite easy to get set up and create my first lessons, quizzes, and role plays. Did I say it's within PowerPoint? So your students have to learn many things, but you don't have to. And iSpring Suite is just one part of the full environment they offer for course authoring, course hosting, and even course selling. So if you're already familiar with PowerPoint, you'll be creating interactive online courses in no time.
If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. Thank you iSpring for offering us a way to breathe some life into PowerPoint and for sponsoring this video.
As you might know, I rely heavily on video in my content and courses. But testing out iSpring for a couple of days actually got me thinking, does interactivity beat video? Should I mix up my lesson format a little? Add a quiz here and there? Maybe video isn't a one-size-fits-all.
My point is that PowerPoint can't do much for you if your approach to teaching is outdated. As online teachers, we need to strive for that engaging experience of taking a course by using quizzes, humor, animations, role plays, flashcards, escape rooms, Whatever you can come up with that activates and engages the learner.
I'm still learning how to teach online, and my video courses are far from perfect. But the ambition has to be to use technology to make education better. Not just the same as the old school physical setup, but on Zoom.
Maybe that means you have to rethink your course design, learn a new tool, or change your perception about an old one. My old hate on PowerPoint was most likely more about the way it was used than the tool itself.
Like a hammer, it can serve you and it can hurt you. Depends on how you use it. And if we design our presentations using David's 5 tips and make them come alive with apps like iSpring, I think that in time I can definitely clear a bit of space in my heart for PowerPoint.
Had to get that line right the first time. Only bought one of those.